Good evening, and welcome to The Way of Conscious Mindfulness, a weekly podcast and YouTube show discussing spirituality and science, balancing health and well-being with mind, body, and spirit, with a Daoist twist. The Tao means the way, the path, the balance. Now, we are not the normal talk show, surprise, surprise. Each week we have guest or a subject. Tonight we have a very awesome guest, and our aim is to have an open discussion talking about spirituality, mind, body and spirits, and to help us all find new skills, new techniques and new ways to balance our own personal Tao. Now, on this journey, as always, or nearly always, I have co-hosts. And tonight is no different. So tonight's co-hosts are, firstly, I will do it in a reverse order. Firstly, it is the magnificent, it is the very cool Savoy Brown. Good evening, Savoy. How are you doing, dear sir? Oh,
there we go. I'm doing good.
There we go.
How are you? We're good. All right.
I am brilliant, Savoy. I am brilliant. It's good to have you back. I think the last time you was on the show, it was your show. So it's good to have you back as a co-host. So cool. And then, of course, we have the quiet, the sublime, the very shy, the one, the rubbish I'm coming out with, the very wonderful Robbie McKenzie, aka Robbie Doe. Good evening, Robbie.
That's me. That's me. Quiet, shy, retiring.
Yeah. I think that's you and I both.
Yeah, nice to be here. So excited about tonight's show. Getting Taunya on, fantastic. Mama T's in the house. Exciting stuff.
Mama T is in the house. Indeed, indeed. It's going. Yeah. I don't know who's more excited. It's going to be a good show. So, as the wonderful Robbie McKenzie said, tonight this is the show of The Way of Taunya Rivera. I hope I got that right. She will tell me if not. Or, as I actually know, I quite like her nickname, just like my nickname is Boggie. I like her nickname of Mama T. So, good evening, Mama T.
Good evening.
Very nice to meet you. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. Finally to be on the show.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Oh, it's great to have you on the show, and a great show for you to be on. So I will kick off with the first question, the ultimate question, the question that sometimes leaves guests shaking in their boots. I don't know why, but so Mama T, this is your show. This is The Way of Mama T. So what is your Tao? What is your way?
My Tao, my way is living through harmonics, the vibrations of the harmonics. Quite a while ago, long time ago, when I was in high school, I was in a doo-wop group. And some of us don't know what a doo-wop group is. It was when people used to come together and actually sing without music and without any kind of electronics and blend their voices. And the vibration from those voices just gave you a beautiful feeling, a wonderful feeling. So I carried that with me throughout my entire life until singing bowls met me, and it turned my life into a new opening. The vibration from the singing bowls, the harmonics in the singing bowls, the energies in the singing bowls, are the healing in the singing bowls is absolutely endless. So to make a long story short, and you're going to ask me more questions about it, that's my way. That has become my way. I still sing, but the singing bowls do most of my singing. I came to New York to sing, okay? And we won't say the year, okay? Because some people weren't born then. But I came to New York to sing. And I did sing. And I sang with one of Ringo Starr's groups. And I sang, and I worked in recording studios, and I've done a lot of work. And then I transitioned into social work from teaching. I have a big background. I didn't get this old for nothing, okay? Next week is my 70th birthday, okay? Yeah. So.
Woohoo! Fantastic. 10 sevens. New 7-year cycle, new 10-year cycle, exciting stuff. Woohoo!
Anyway, 24 years ago, I was introduced to singing bowls by the inquisitive daughter of mine, Alon. She wanted to know things about the East. So we walked into the store, and we had a travels for the whole day, because this was in the time of no computer and the yellow pages. Okay. 24 years ago. So we traveled around New York, and I said, well, she got something in the mail, and I said, well, we don't know if these things are authentic. So let's do our travels in New York. And I call that our travels, to see what things were authentic. And we had many travels, mostly dealing with music. And the last store that we tried, I said, this has got to be it. Smelt right, it was everything right. And the young man, African-American man, led us to the back. He said, have you ever heard of the singing bowls? I said, no. And he had a huge table with glass underneath and all of these singing bowls. He played every one of these singing bowls. And I said, one day I'm gonna own one of those big singing bowls that goes, you know? And when we walked up to the counter, and this was Tibet East, I think it was. But anyway, the store is not there anymore. And when we walked up to the counter, I started talking about how everything was one and how every religion was one. And he said, do you belong to Siddha Yoga? I said, no, never heard of it. He said, well, that's what they teach, the oneness and how everything is. And I started talking about Mary and Jesus and Buddha. I don't know where this was coming from, the vibration, you know? And I started talking about it just out of nowhere. And I thought, out of nowhere. So my daughter bought the first bowl, and this is the first bowl. It's a Manipuri. I didn't know the names of bowls or anything like that, but she bought the first bowl. I thought it was my bowl until 5 years ago. And she said, Mom, that's not your bowl. I bought the first bowl. I said, oh, yeah, you did. Well, at the same time, in the same year, I met our guru, and she's a female guru, and we met her, and she said, we said we're going to Japan, and she said, to study, and I said, no, I'm a chaperone in my daughter's show. And lo and behold, I bought the bowl, and they were wondering how, well, she bought the bowl, but I bought it, you know. How am I so calm? Because for some reason they were finding everything wrong in this man-made island. It was like paradise. And I just would say, I'm gonna go play the bowl. I'm gonna go play the bowl. And they said, well, why are you so calm? And the director was like, why is your child so on point? And I just kept on saying, well, you have to give them notes and you have to keep them, you know. But actually I knew what it was a meditation. And then people started asking me, what is this bowl and why are you so calm? Like the cast, even the kids, there was a kids cast, it was a kids show. It was a foreign exchange. So I said, well, yeah, you know, you can come to my room, come to our room, and play the bowl, just one bowl. And they were like, wow, that's so calming. And so one by one, people would ask me to come to their room, or can I come to your room? And can I have a, you know, can you play the bowl for me? Can I meditate with you? And that began me playing the bowl for not only myself, but for other people, and bringing them into peace. And with this one bowl for about, I played one bowl for about 7 years until I began to, until I began to study. I didn't know you could study this. You know, I was like, well, I thought you just played it, you know. And it brought me into meditation because I could never meditate. I would always fall asleep. And I was like, I'm falling asleep again. You know, I want to meditate. I want to meditate. I'm falling asleep again. And when I got the bowl, I would play it in the morning. I mean, this has, the vibration has led me, even the first one little bowl. Now I have over 50 bowls. I stopped counting. Many different types. The vibrations from the bowl led me into meditation. I said, this is it. This is what meditation is. I mean, before, I did this for myself before I did it for other people. And I suggest to my students, do it for yourself. Before you play for other people, play for yourself. You know, see how you feel. See if you resonate with your bowl and see how you feel. And then when people ask me, I didn't go out to say, oh, I want to play the bowl for you. Oh, you got to feel great. You got to meditate. You got to feel well. You know, I didn't do that. You know, it's like I had to receive for myself and be aware for myself until people started asking me. When I played the bowl and at the same time I met the guru, at one time I forgot to pranam. And I ran back and I pranam to our altar. And our altar, I was meditating at our altar. And I ran back and I was like, oh, that's pranam. And I ran back and I pranam. And when I bent my head down, I saw a pool of water. And in that water, I saw my face. And my face turned into the guru's face. And I said, oh my God. I couldn't talk. I just, you know, tears were just streaming down my face. And my daughter was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I said, oh my God. She teaches us that we are one, that she is always with us. And then I knew that, you know, I saw that for myself. If it wasn't for me playing this bowl, and it's just any bowl, you know, that resonates with you, that calls you, then I wouldn't understand or feel the principles, you know, vibration, harmonics. It's unexplainable, but you can explain it through science. But the feeling is such a magnitude, and it leads your life. It has led my life into many, many places. I know I expounded upon that a little, but like I said, so that's my way.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It's beautiful. What a beautiful journey as well, you know. And it's lovely connecting in that way. These moments that happen that are epiphany moments, you know, when you realize we're all one. You're one with the guru, you and the guru are one. We're all one. Everybody's one.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's
beautiful.
You know, we're starting to hear this more and more. You know, you hear people say, you know, we're all one, we're all one consciousness. But I get a lot, or you hear people say that, and then they go, they say my or this or that, and you hear that separateness again. And I think it takes this, you know, it's like for you with the bowls and you know, it takes a moment. It takes that moment of clarity where you actually you have that moment of clarity. You see, whether that's through meditation, whether that's through qigong, whether that's through the singing bowls, there's that when you suddenly realize what that means, when we say we are all one, what that really means. Because I don't...
different levels of it, different levels of understanding it. Feeling a oneness with somebody and having a conception of the oneness of us all being in this together is different from having the expansive, esoteric experience of, like opening your Merkaba fully and experiencing yourself as the divine, as being all people, being all things, being at the same time. So there's different levels of that statement, of that oneness, of that understanding, the different levels of the onion being peeled, if you like, because we all come from that center place of the same thing. We are the same thing. This is just one being having multiple experiences, subjective experiences, talking about itself. Really, there is nobody in the room here. But I think that the harmonics, like you say, when you connect with that in the deeper way, that's so beautiful, and it's the different levels of these epiphanies, so wonderful. And that's what Ascension's all about as well, So you're a pioneer of Ascension in sound, in harmonics, because we are all different notes. We're all different points of these beautiful notes of oneness. Yeah, lovely.
It's all very cool.
What's beautiful about the bowls is they take on your vibration. They take on your body harmonics. And I mean, the bowls won't sound the same to each person. And each is a different experience. So I tell people there's no way I can tell you what you're going to experience. If I told you, then I'd be a liar, and that's not what I do. So they resonate and harmonize with your harmony and your body and your dis-ease. To, like, I explain it as like being in the doo-wop group, when we're singing together and someone is off key or off note or on my note, what I used to do was, you're on my note, Bowls don't do that. They don't bop you in the head, They adjust.
Get off my toes.
They're off my note. Or, oh, you're off, So my ear is like very tuned to being off, like, so the bowls, like, they bring you into the harmony. They bring your body, your essence, your marrow into its harmony. So either you're going to harmonize in the body or you're going to leave the group. So, that's what the bowls do,
I think it's a great analogy as well for getting into higher vibration, because those notes, those obvious notes that we hear in our voice, like you say, if you don't harmonize with it, you won't be there. If you don't raise to the higher vibration, you won't be able to be around the higher vibration. You will just, a guide put it to me the other day about it being like a turntable, being like a roundabout, when you go on a roundabout and it spins you off at the edge, you can only really stay on it when you're in the center point, because that's the point of everything being going around you. If you go off a little bit, it'll throw you off. It'll throw you off the record. It'll throw you off the roundabout, So, and each different note, each different singing bowl, each different point of vibration is the same. You harmonize with it, or you get out of dodge. Yeah, beautiful. But it's there. It brings you into resonance with it, and that's what's beautiful about it, So it is more powerful than the negative, and if the negative is so powerful that it overcomes the energy, the negative just goes away to learn its own lessons. Right. It is all with unconditional love.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just not ready. It's not about anybody being any less or any better. It's just about it being about that vibration. Yeah. And it's all done with unconditional love. Because I know that you put love into your bowls, and the bowls magnify that love.
Well, I have seen people come in.
Hey, sorry guys, could you mute yourselves because there's a bit of an echo and I'm afraid the listeners can't actually hear that.
Okay.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. You can speak.
Not you, Taunya. Not just whenever you're not speaking, or if somebody else is speaking. Yeah, no, fair enough. I forget sometimes.
Yeah, you can stay unmuted. You're fine.
Yeah, you're fine, Sonia. Don't worry.
Okay.
You're the star of the show, Taunya. You're fine. Right?
Well, Bogey and I were talking about an experience that, and this was kind of, I have many experiences, but I mean, we were talking about people feeling negative when they're coming into a session. And I've been to many sessions where the people I've been invited in, and they didn't know why I was coming. Like it could be men transitioning out of prison, women in recovery, men, women. I mean, these are just the groups that I've done, men and women in recovery. And then there's the Rastas before they have their morning ganja. So, and we talk about, you know, how they enter and how they leave. So, like I said, many experiences. When I went to one of the programs and the men were saying, what are you gonna do with that bowl, lady? You gonna make some rice? They're like, no, you'll see. And I mean, these were like big guys, and they were trying to intimidate me. You know what I did? No, what did you do? I burned my woman's car. I'm like, okay. Well, you know what I did? Okay, that's nice. All right, so we're gonna do meditation. We're gonna experience the bowls. So, and one bowl, this one bowl. After I began with the breathing and this and that, when they came back, they're like, lady, you want to bring that bowl tomorrow? Because I ain't got to do drugs no more. And it was another situation, I mean, and whoa, big guys, you know, and you see me at the end, we're hugging, you know. It was another incident in Jamaica when we're up high early in the morning with the Rastas in a Bay Kuta. And that's called Freedom Under the Rock. There's one in Africa also. And this was before the village of Rastas got their morning ganja. I don't know if you know many Rastas, but because they, you know, this morning ganja. Okay, so I'm up there at the edge, and there's concrete, and there's a drop, and there's a road down there, and there's water over here, and there's trees and everything, and the Rasta brother man is saying, oh, I'm going to bring another brother. I'm going to bring another brother. Like, how many brothers do you have? I'm going to bring another brother for meditation. Do the eagle feather, do the eagle feather. So I clear with turkey feather because he called it eagle feather. So I let him, and I clear with the sage, Indian, you know, heritage, Indian clearing, Native American clearing, with the turkey feather and sage. Dude, do that. And the Rasta looks at me and goes, I'm like, oh, tough group. Okay. So we get there and I'm doing the meditation on the concrete. And the most disgruntled Rasta is right across from me. And I'm looking at him and I'm feeling this vibration of Om coming straight through a line, straight to me. And I was like, what's that? Couldn't be the trucks downstairs, down on the road because they're too far. So I feel this inside of me coming towards me, this Om, this beautiful Om, this rumbling Om. And then when he opened his eyes, it looked like he was in heaven. And he just smiled at me. And I said, was that you? And he said, yes. He called me daughter. Yes, daughter. I thank you for being a free spirit. I mean, the transition of that, he didn't want to come. He didn't want to do this. He didn't get the guns up. You know, he didn't want to do it. You know, but the transition was just, you know, just amazing. And I've seen that so much, you know, and I'm just, I give thanks for leading me into this way.
We give thanks too. Fantastic, because you're doing great work. I know that's part of the reason why with the whole Metatron thing as well, that you've really lifted the energy, you know, and it had to be a pure space for that to be taken as well, you know. So you the base of the love that you've created, and the resonance and the vibration and the expansion that's there, that's going globally in all the different traditions, you know. It's each different place. Everybody has their own, you know, place within this ascension. But this is it's definitely one of the more tangible ways to be able to be brought into a place of peace, to be able to sit in your meditation and your Merkaba, and your, you know, open up to your higher self, to the higher abilities that you have, and how that you're spreading. And it really is, it's very, very powerful, you know. And you can feel it. I can feel it when I'm meditating, when I'm with your group, like in meditation. I'm not always there in person, but I'm always there when you're doing your thing. And it's so powerful, you know, and it expands out, really, really wonderful. And all of these different people that you've touched, they've still got your vibration with them, you know. Yeah. Tell us more about, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, tell us more about the different places that you've been, because you've been in Bali, you've been in Africa, you've been in, you went out to Dubai.
I haven't been to, I was supposed to go, but I haven't been to Africa yet.
That's right. Okay, that's right. Yeah. What about your Bali mission? Because I know there was a few times as well, I was sitting in meditation helping you along the way when you were moving yourself there as well. You know, there's a few different missions that you've gone on that have been very exciting, you know.
Well, you know, people ask me, because they think I have a lot of money because I travel. That's not it. Spirit sends me. So
yeah, I know that myself. They give you what you need to travel, and it looks like you're a millionaire traveling the world.
right.
It's like a need to know basis. It's a need to travel basis. We'll give you this amount.
Yeah, I tell them because they people ask me, well, why don't you go here and why don't you go? I said, because it's not up to me. Spirit sends me, and I don't know. Jamaica is like a conduit to me. I mean, it kind of like it's where I get my my messages, a lot of messages. And when I was in Jamaica, that's why I went to Bali. I used to have a little, well, it will be again, a canoe. There's a little place in Negril, way out in the West End. And Canoe was my office. It's a bar, but it's a restaurant, but it had Wi-Fi. So, and I could get a fresh fruit smoothie and sit there all day and watch the water and even go to the beach. So Canoe was my office. And I was like, I have to go to a place where there's spirit all around. And I just felt that. It's a vibration that comes to me where I need to go. And I was like, but where is that place? Spirit said Bali. Well, when I returned, I walked into my house, my apartment, and I looked around, I said, spirit is all around here. I looked at the walls and everything. I mean, then I didn't have a Bali gong, but I have a Bali gong now. And I looked around, I looked at the walls, and my daughter has been to Bali before, so the pictures were on the walls from Bali. We have abstract Buddha behind me. And I didn't know how I was going to go. And I knew I had to go by myself, because what happens is when I do a retreat, that kind of offsets the cost. But I knew I had to go by myself. I'm not quite sure how that money came, but it did. And whenever I check out the airfares, it's the lowest. It's the lowest airfare, and it's like, Spirit says, take it, that's for you. I stayed at a place where it was the third eye of Bali, Sifuboggie, in Om Unity. And you do everything that people do. It's not a touristy place. I connected with Zan on Facebook, and it's like I became family. I had my mission driver, my mission partner driver that helped me to get a gong, and he just drove me all around. And I had him playing bowls and people at the places playing bowls. And when Zan, he says, oh, we meditated every morning at sunrise. The sun came up in a Wantalam. And I mean, to experience Bali as a Balinese person, you know, was absolutely wonderful. And he said, I'm going to bring the village in. You're going to do a meditation for the village. And he did. I mean, he brought all kinds of people into the Wantalam, I mean, all ages to the Wantalam. And his mother fell asleep. She was going to sleep. And I was like, oh my God, maybe she doesn't like it. She's going to sleep. And I found out from his wife later on, Putu, she said, oh no, she doesn't sleep. It was beautiful to see her sleep. She doesn't sleep. And I was like, wow. So I became family. Like, oh, the other thing was, that's the only place that I could do the healing book, that I could complete the healing book. And I told Zan, they were building then, I said, Zan, I'm gonna go, I have to do this meditation by myself, this downloads by myself. He said, oh, do you want to go to a temple, or you want me to take you? I said, no. I just go to the edge over there by myself. So he said, oh, well, I hope the builders don't bother you. I said, oh, no. They won't bother me, but I hope they don't mind, because my eyes may roll up in my head and I may look a little strange. So, but they understand that in Bali. But I was looking for, you know, I needed a place. And I told Robbie, I said, Robbie, I'm not quite getting this. I don't know, this is totally different than the first book. I'm not quite getting it. And then I was like, I got it in Bali. I mean, I got it so much. And since then, I've done the healing book, and all the books several times. I'm losing count, and they just get deeper and deeper and deeper. And, you know, I've been able to teach and use sound in the teachings, along with I
think it's very important, very important.
Yeah.
You know, and the journey that you've been on with it has been very important for the expansion of the energy as well. Not everybody gets it, but that's because they're not meant to get it just now, because when the timing is right for the vibration to be right, they will get it, you know, and you're at the forefront of that as well, you know. But it's the vibration, it's the expansion, it's the pure love, it's the next stage of your evolution, the next stage of your transformation, the next stage of our breaking out of everything, you know. And Bali there's a pure essence to it. I know that we'll go to Bali. I know that we'll go to Bali. I know that we'll go to New York. I know that we'll do all the different places that are there that have. I thought we would have been in New York already, but I know that the timing of everything is all perfect. You know.
Yeah.
This is 7 years since the book as well. I was talking to you about that the other day. But you've been very faithful, and you're moving forward, and you keeping going with it and expanding it and allowing the emanations of it to expand from New York, from Bali, from Negril. I thought we would have been in Jamaica with you as well, you know.
Yeah.
Before now, because I know you invited us out a long time ago, many years ago. But I've had to go on this journey, the Twin Flame journey, and this new book, and describe the journey and all that as well. So. But the work that you're doing is fantastic, and the emanations are so beautiful. You can feel it when you're where you are right now as well. So powerful, really powerful, exciting, really exciting. And the people in Bali really benefited from you being there. You're still there. Your essence is still there. Yeah. Does anybody else have another question for Taunya? Sorry, Taunya.
Yeah, Mama T. We sort of Robbie's already sort of like mentioned the connection between you two, but of course for the audience, it's a bit of an unknown. So what how did you meet Robbie, or the connection? What is the connection between you and Robbie? Let's ask the question that way.
Okay, so one of the people that took my retreat, a young man who lives in New York, but in the outskirts of New York, he told me about the Clarion Call. He said, "Oh, you got to read this book." And he said, "It's on Amazon. You can read part of it." And I was like, "Okay." And I read part of it, and I said, "Well, I'm getting the book." I said, "This is really interesting. This is wow." And he said, "Well, I'm thinking about having a book club." And he said, but he lived outside of New York, and he said, "Well, how many people?" I said, "How many people do you want to have in this book club?" And he said, "About 5." I said, "Okay, well, I'll ask my daughter," and then she lived with me. And I said, "I'll ask my daughter, and we could have it at our place." And so we did. And then he calls me on his way home on the train, and he says, you're not going to believe this. I made it into a meetup, and he didn't even tell me he was going to make it into a meetup. He said, "I made it into a meetup, and I haven't even joined yet. And I didn't even publish it. It's not even out yet." He said, "I can't make this up. The first person who joined the meetup is Robbie McKenzie." And he said, I can't, I don't even belong to it, And he said, "I'm going to go home and call him in Scotland." So he did. So he's like, "How did you find out about it?" He's asking him, and he's telling me, and he's like, "I Googled it, and it came up as a meetup, so I joined." It wasn't even out yet. So we went through from a few people to now is close to 800 from all around the world. I mean, he was great at getting the word out. And we have a core group in Manhattan. And we Skype in people sometimes, Belize, and we did the UK, in Alaska, right? And it's been amazing. One of the people that came here, it was 3 people that came at the end of one of the meditations, because they were traveling so much from another part of New York. And I was like, well, and I didn't know them. And it was like, are they going to get this or whatever? And one of the young men said he saw a Metatron. He said, there's a spaceship above your apartment. There's a spaceship. And he said, Metatron was here. And I mean, he named these people that were there. He saw the visions of these people that came in. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And He's seen many things. He's written some books too, and I didn't know who he was. And then the lady that brought him in, she started speaking about the same thing that I just said, that same framework as we were talking about, the same essence. So it gets out there, you know, the clarion call. Well, it's not just a book, but it's out there, and those of us who heed it are lighting it and sending out that vibration, you know, and it's been absolutely amazing. Especially, I think the deepest group that I've done in a foreign country was in Brazil. We did the 5 meditations in 2 days, and that was heavy duty. And I mean, we chanted, and what Spirit brought in was absolutely beautiful. The second day, when I did the 5th meditation, I was supposed to go out that night. Oh no, because my head was burning. You know, with all of that energy, I was like, you know, I can't go anywhere. I just need to drink a lot of water, because it was like, you know, fire, you know. You know, so I was like, you know, we just covered 5 of the meditations in 2 days. And I mean, it was, woo. I'm vibrating now, just, you know.
I can feel the energy. It's really, really powerful, eh? You know,
It's spreading.
Built, and it's built, and it's kept building. You know, and each different point, each different year, each different expansion has been very, very powerful. You know.
Yeah.
Faithful to it as well. You know, so there was a big reason for that, and a couple of the times I've came in and I've channeled Metatron as well in the groups. That's been at different points that the expansion was ready. And I remember it was only, I had only released the book for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I prayed. I was like, you know, what should I do to promote this? You know, and within 10 minutes of that prayer was when I saw the Jonathan's meetup group, and his mind was blown. He was like, "What? How could you know this? This hasn't been published to the net yet."
Right.
It's not. Nobody should be able to see this. I haven't published this yet.
Right.
You know? And I'm like, well, Metatron gets around those kind of things, you know.
Yeah.
That Robbie gets everywhere. He's like that blooming boggy, that sifuboggie, you know. Well, if you're not careful, Robbie will just appear like magic. It's but you know, that's the whole point. I mean, you know, the interesting thing, you've got people like for the, you know, those who know of him, David Wilcox. He's actually going on at the moment. It's a big thing about, there's these Russian scientists that have found that sacred geometry is actually embedded within the fabric of the universe, and the sign, or the form that they are seeing is they're just missing one little part of it, but it's basically the macabre. It is, you know, the actual, because the original like shape they show is basically, it's about 3/4 of a macabre. There's about slightly more than 3/4. There's just like one little chunk missing, and even like himself, he's saying, you know, give them time and they'll realise it's, you know, there's that the full shape, and it's just it. You know, that's, you know, like so cool. I mean, even like the flower, even the flower of life, the flower of life. When you have the macabre in a well, the Metatron is, especially the Metatron cube, so the cube with the macabre inside. When you have that as a wire frame and you shine a light through it, you get, alongside as a mirror image, you get the flower of life, which is, and how I was taught was that the macabre is the masculine, funny enough, the Metatron, the masculine energy of the universe, and the flower of life is the mother energy. So when you bind those two together, you know, you get this, you get just out other side, just slightly out of the screen, you get the Tai Chi symbol, the yin yang. When the two bind together, you get, you know, the mother and the father, the yin and the yang, the male and the female energy combining to create the whole universe.
Yeah,
so,
that's your toroidal field. That's you creating what is already there. So the flower of life is everything, and the macabre is the active part within it that you have the ability to use. So in you spinning your macabre and you opening yourself up and you you know, becoming who you really are within this illusion, you're using both sides. So it's the masculine and the feminine coming together. So that's when they say masculine, feminine, you should really say active, passive, because it's not about men and women. It's about the active part and the passive part of existence, of the whole of creation, you know. But yeah, and when you do that, then you understand, because you become one with everything, you know, and that is that oneness. Like we were talking about earlier, you know, the different ways of understanding what oneness is, what it means, and the different levels of it. But when you have that full macabre opening, you know that you are one with everything. You know what I mean? You are the divine. So, you know, and everything else is just an emanation from that center point. Yeah, yeah, really powerful. Yeah. Hello, Marlon.
Hello, Agent 25.
Agent
25.
How are you?
Promoted. Promoter again. Agent 35. Good evening, Marlon. How are you doing?
Good evening.
Oh,
can't hear you.
Marlon, you're, for some reason, can't hear you.
I think there's a mute on her microphone.
I get the
I
thumbs
saw
up.
she unmuted it.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Cool.
You know.
Sorry, I've had an IT reset. So I've just been kind of listening with interest. I am hoping that I am in time to hear these gorgeous singing bowls and that I haven't missed the musical rendition part of the evening.
No, you haven't.
No. No, that's yet to come. That's yet to come. We were just talking about the how, you know, her story with the singing bowls themselves, and then also how she got to know this madman Robbie McKenzie. And I mean, I've got a question of, so obviously, you know, for me, funny enough, whenever I talk about qigong or symbols or mantras, the Chinese and the Japanese, they very much talk about that let's get used to this, that the symbol is basically like a singing bowl, and when the act of saying it, or with a qigong, the act of doing it is like striking that singing bowl, and it creates the tone, and the tone obviously is the feeling. Now, obviously, each bowl has its unique tone, which is, I think, I'm not sure if we said this offline, before the show or actually on the show. So obviously, there are certain singing bowls that may affect you differently than another one.
Right.
What happens with? I hope it's not a trick question, but what with the clarion call, the macabre, does that change the frequency at all, if that makes sense?
Does the macabre change the frequency?
Yeah. So when you started, you obviously, I assume you were using, you know, you used the singing bowls first, and then when Robbie's information came along, the macabre does, you know, is there a difference that, you know, with the meditations as well? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, but I think it enhances your ability to energize the macabre, because one thing, you have to get your mind out the way. And in order to, we need prompts. I mean, some of us need prompts. In this fast-paced society that we live in, it's hard to get our mind out of the way, you know. So first of all, you have to get your mind out of the way, and that's where the bowls come in, to come to that relaxed state, to harmonize your body, so you're feeling the essence of your body, and you're clear of mind, so that you can experience this space outside of you without question. So for my explanation, it doesn't change the Merkaba, it enables you more to activate your Merkaba. When I found the pyramids, woo, I was like, this is a tool to assist people. And for me, my explanation, it's not scientific, but it kind of breaks up this stagnation, especially in New York, this stagnation all around us. That's, you know, it's like, okay, we got this heavy air, this heavy stagnation, these emotions, this, you know. So for me, I tell them this is like a beater. It's gonna mix it up so it can dissolve it. I used to teach preschool, so it works with adults too. So this is a small one. So we may do the meditation number one first, and then I may play. And then what I do in Central Park, when there's enough space, and even here this is the larger one. And when we're doing meditations, and we're focusing on the energies outside of us. So.
Wow.
Beautiful.
That is absolutely incredible. Oh my gosh.
And that's from a speaker, don't forget. You know, is that if you
I'm sitting here thinking, I want one. I want one. What is that triangle called? I must have it now.
Yeah.
That was just
Well,
amazing.
you will have,
resonated.
Marilyn. You will have sound baths. You will have that's part of where you're ready to expand as well. It's not just the angel cards. You will open up with sound baths yourself.
I see that.
There you
You
go.
will.
As Sifu says. Well,
Is that a prediction from Robbie?
That's just the way it will be. You'll see.
Yes, in other words. See what? Maybe I'm just being awkward, but what I want to know is why haven't they come up with a macabre version of that?
Oh, they do.
Actually, the straight.
I just don't have it yet.
Oh, okay. Silly question, but that's
I'm in contact with a manufacturer now. Yeah. But I'm not quite sure. I want to hear it first to see if it has the tones.
Yeah.
Because I mean this little one they don't make anymore. I have different ones, but I'm very conscious of tone. So I'm working on that. Yeah.
We got a
So
few
exciting, though.
comments.
So exciting. All these tools to bring you into that place, and then once that place is facilitated, that you don't need it as much. It's a tool to get you into that place within yourself, because your divine resonance is the most powerful energy that there is. But it's a wonderful tool. It's so exciting, so powerful.
Yeah.
But basically, as Marilyn would, Agent 35, as Marilyn would know, basically, it's like ratio or empowerment or attunement. But I prefer the Reiki in the West. They do Reiki attunements, but in Japan, they're empowerments, they're build-ups. And the whole point is that frequency. It's that I recognize, from that, you feel that same energy. It's alive. You can feel the essence of it. It's alive. You can feel the living energy within it. I don't want to.
I'm not sure how other people use them. I mean, because they sell these, and I'm not sure if people use it along with expanding the energies of your macabre. I mean, that's what led me to buy it. I was like, oh my God, I gotta have that. My friend Jay, who was a player, he had these, and I was like, and my daughter was like, okay, I'll put some money to it. How much is it? So, and I was like, that's what we need, because people were saying, I don't see it. I said, but you feel it. If you don't see it, you don't have to see it. Feel it. Feel it. Then, and then don't look for it,
Yeah. Let it happen. Yeah.
Right. It just happens. And some people, it happens in the weirdest times too, because I'm sensitive to sound. I could be in the doctor's office and there was a waterfall there, and I was like, whoa! And like my macabre started. So I was like, whoa, energy. Whoa. This is whoa. I mean, and that was even better than, that was healing. I'm like, okay, I'm finished. I can go home now.
But I'm not that with the ocean. It is the ocean.
The ocean.
Yeah.
Wow. There's a place, once again in Jamaica, but also in Dubai. And Robbie was very, very, his energy was so there in Dubai. I mean, this group was magnificent. I mean, I'm
really beautiful.
That I've traveled with, but the ocean in Dubai, the ocean was like, I didn't even have a bowl on me. We did go and play bowls out there, me and Wuse. But the ocean, when I first got there, I heard an om go, a line of Om go across the ocean. I saw it and I heard it. And I was like, did you hear that? And I mean, people that live there, I don't think they heard it. And I was like, did you hear that? Do you hear that? It was like amazing, amazing. I didn't even have to play anything. I just wanted to listen and to, you know, it's an amazing place. And it was an amazing journey. The people that I met, I mean, talk about one love. I mean, they were all ethnicities and we still communicate. And one of the people, I met them in India and they said, you have to come to Dubai. One of the people was from Malta. She brought all these books to put in the Clarion Call. She brought all these books to put in Just Be. She arranged everything. Hi, Monique. She arranged everything. Dulce said, you're gonna stay in my family's villa. And that's how spirit works. That's how this, if spirit wants you to go somewhere, they're gonna arrange it. You know, spirit's
definitely, and the timing of everything as well. I remember Monique. We thought we were this was this time last year.
Yeah.
We were because we were in Malta, and Monique was coming back on the 17th.
Right.
And we ended up leaving on the 14th. And I know that we will meet Monique, but it's all about divine timing. It's about when the timing is right for the vibrations to connect at the right time for ascension. You know, for your Merkabas to connect, for your vibration to be physically there as well as being, you know, in your Merkaba there as well. Because sometimes it can be overwhelming, or sometimes it can be not at the right timing for somebody to feel the physical essence, but they feel your energetic body. Do you know what I mean? Or they feel you, because these concepts sometimes are a bit hard for people to swallow at first. Do you know what I mean? For them to come to terms with somebody being in the essence of the energy around you when they're not actually physically there, or they're in a different country, or they're, do you know what I mean, just sitting in meditation, you know? Now this is to help people expand in that way, you know? And I thought that we were going to meet Monique because she was due back, I think, on the 17th of December last year.
Yeah.
We thought we were going to be in Malta for the year, you know, because we'd been brought there. And then suddenly there was something that happened and we had to go and rescue the pets, and, you know, everything really happened really quickly. But we will meet Monique. You know, that is something that will happen. That will happen. That may happen in Dubai, actually. It will, I think it'll happen in Malta as well. There's many different times. But, you know, spirit just is, if you trust in the energy moving forward, you will be in the right place at the right time. You will be anyway, but the more that you allow the flow to happen, the more you will enjoy it. So it's that old Zen proverb, you know, let go or be dragged. And it's especially if you've surrendered to a divine path, because once you surrender to that point, you will be directed, and it's just about the more that you'll let go to that flow of why am I meant to be here? Why am I meant to be there? What point, what time, and all perfection. And I remember in Dubai, because it was so powerful, it's there was a beacon of that energy, you know, and it's like breaking up a lot of different mental thought forms of inhibition or you know, barriers to our divine essence. And that's why you were there. You were there to set a beacon, you know, and it's about that powerful energy. And you did, and it was really good, really powerful.
Wow, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Jamaica, when you said about the ocean, yeah, the ocean is a powerful conductor, as we know water is. There's a place in Negril, once again, way out on the way far out on the west end. It's called Jackie's on the Reef, and she's actually from the States, but she was called, and I'll make the long story short, she was called to build this place. And it's a spiritual place. There's a huge Buddha and a huge gong and cylinder gong. I think I'm the only one that plays it. And it looks out into the ocean. It's open and it has rooms. And I usually do my retreats there. I've been doing them for like 5 years there. And it looks out, and that's where Robbie was supposed to come. and you still will. And it's like a huge temple. And it's a natural pool that comes up. The water splashes up a natural pool. And I call on the meditation at 7 a.m. And most people are up before then because they complain like, oh, 7 a.m. That's early. Like, oh, no, that's late. But they're up early, they're up before then usually. And we dress in all white because it's oneness, it's all the colors. And I found out by playing there, different visions I've seen and heard, and by playing, I'm playing out into the water. And we're circular, there's semicircle steps, all made up from the land. She made everything from the land. The limestone, everything was built from, the earth of Jamaica in that spot. There was nothing there. She had a tent there. She's in her 70s, but real spunky, tall, model-like, chocolate skin, all white hair. And she was my teacher. I found out that she was my teacher in a cave in Belize. I had past life regression, so I found out who she was, why I felt so close to her. And doing the meditations there's so many different experiences where I actually saw the ancestors coming across the water, and they were in all white. And they thanked us for wearing all white. And at one time I said, oh, welcome. And they said, oh, no, you're welcome because this is our land. Oh, yes. I've had ancestors tell me which bowls to play, which one they wanted to hear. And I explained the ancestor to Jackie. She said, and it was a derivative, it was a male ancestor who was on the land. And she said, and I told him his name, and she said that was a derivative of her name because her first name is not Jackie, so Jacqueline. And whatever it was an A something, and she said that was a derivative. Many experiences that water brings, and especially the ocean, it brings so much. It's a conduit. It's the sound is amazing out there. And it's different because I tell people when you're in different climates, sound is different. And the bowls have to get used to that, get used to the climate and the traveling and everything. It's just like, they have energy. So we have energy. So, it's affected in different ways, but it definitely is.
So beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, the ocean is beautiful and is a conductive energy, and it's amazing. And it's amazing to play out there because you don't see anything else around you. There are other places around there, but you don't see anything around you. It's like you're in your own natural heaven.
Perfect. Beautiful.
Go back.
You will.
I'm waiting for my orders from Spirit.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to the grill as well,
My tan is wearing down.
Yeah.
I'm chalky. Need the color. No.
I think it's time.
Sorry.
Go, Robbie.
Sorry, I was just saying it was a beautiful, when you were talking about the ancestors, what a beautiful vision that is, It's just of going back, and this is us honoring that energy as well, It's us honoring that energy, and also, we are the ancestors as well. There's so many that are awakening just now that are that have been here and that have helped in many different lifetimes and are opening back up again, So it's like interchangeable timelines that we are becoming more and more aware of as we open our Merkaba, as we deepen our energy, as we, awaken more and more fully. And the different people that are ready for that are expanding, And it's happening exponentially now. It's happening, like, more and more people are getting excited about it and are having all of these different experiences. And I was really excited, going around the globe, the different places, and Spirit will organize exactly where you're meant to be, exactly at the right time, and you're doing it. So excited. Yeah. Sorry, Boggie, I didn't mean to interrupt you there when you said that.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I'm just saying. I think it's time to allow you to do a meditation if you would like. So.
Okay. So I don't know if you can see the bowls or not, but can you see them? Can you see them?
There's a lovely scene. It's a lovely frame. Yeah.
All right. So the sound, I don't know if the sound is going to come across because of the vibration. So I did a mini video this morning to check out the sound.
Well, the triangles were really powerful when you did the both of them. That was a really nice energy that we were sitting here absorbing. I could feel everybody was feeling that energy. Beautiful.
We got triangles.
The mini Merkabas, yeah?
Huh?
Pyramids.
Yeah, pyramids.
Yeah, well, the half Merkabas.
Yeah, half Merkabas. Okay.
Actually, before, Boggie, I have a quick question. Did you split for your part 2 for your podcast, or are you doing one straight run tonight?
We'll do one straight one tonight. I can do a little bit of editing magic and turn a 1 into a 2. That's not a problem. I'm not sure I can edit out Robbie's triangles instead of pyramids, but hey ho, it's Robbie triangles. What are you talking about? I love you, brother, but what are you talking about? Anyway, we digress.
Okay.
So, Mama T, do your thing.
Okay. So how long do I have? How long?
How long's a piece of string? Well, you've got at least half an hour. You can have a bit longer than half an hour if you want to, but you've got at least half an hour.
Okay. Well, let's do 20 minutes.
Yep. Okay, cool.
Okay. So we're going to start with the breath. Oh. Start with some ancestors. Take a nice deep breath in. Expand through your solar plexus. And exhale nice and long and wide through your mouth. Another nice deep breath. Inhale through your nose, expanding the solar plexus. And exhale through your mouth, slowly. more nice deep cleansing breath. So as you come out of meditation with the wind chimes, breathe in deep and exhale one more.
Absolutely beautiful.
Incredible.
Wow.
That was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. That was just beautiful.
Yeah, it was that. Beyond words. That was really awesome. It's definitely made me want to go and practice now. So well, why have one when you can have two? So, but yes, actually, I was. Actually, it might be worth. I mean, obviously, with If and whatnot, obviously being there will be, you know, the full clarity of it. But you know, if you guys, you know, felt anything, I mean, for me, I was definitely. It's three things. One, my pineal gland was buzzing, for sure, and I definitely felt energy to my right hand side, like a presence to the right hand side, and also maybe it's also talking about the ocean as well. I have a very strong urge when I am down the coast next to take this baby and to sit next to the sea and play that. That was my experience. Anybody else would like to share?
Yeah, I'd love to say a few things. During the beginning, I had this awesome euphoric sense where I could feel my spinal cord and my brain attachment just kind of like wiggle and just wiggle like a little piece of semen that it is, because you know that's what it is realistically, our brain and the spinal cord, and then we have our arms and our legs attachments. But the feeling that wiggle was cool because it really made me feel like I was alive. So those vibrations help you go in so deep to your body, and it was a really great meditation. The entire time was mind-blowing.
And for me, I would say where I felt it the most, it kind of resonated through my chest and went into the back to my spinal cord. So a similar kind of, and it was just, and every time there was a different sound, it almost kind of did that and rippled out through the body. And also, I guess, the way I describe it, if there was I know there's a space between the brain and the skull, and where that fluid is, and it felt as though it resonated in that space. That's the best way I think I could actually put it into words.
Wow. Robbie.
Beautiful, absolutely. It was just beautiful, really beautiful. Just feeling the whole energy, and actually, while we were like deep in it, seeing the different parts of everything that we've been talking about this whole last hour and a half as well. The different places that you've been, the different people that you've affected, the different points that you've resonated with. I was feeling all of that, all of them, all of the different energies that were expanding, the whole toroidal field of the energy from New York City and surrounding the earth as well. But the talk about the toroidal field of the whole earth, you know, it's like as if this energy is getting us into our own personal toroidal field with our Merkabas, and we are becoming the earth, you know, like in that place. It's the next point of our evolution, you know, and that's where it was resonating with me. Like I was on a few different points of I'm with you very often when you're doing this in New York City and all around the world when you're doing it. So I've felt this many times with you, but it's actually wonderful to hear the physical energy of it, because I don't hear that very often. And that's really nice, you know, and the physical essence not just being in meditation is really, really powerful. And just, you know, feeling that energy going from the crown chakra, going up and coming back round to the base chakra, everything was flowing. It's like you say about, you know, the spinal cord, because the spinal cord is, and the 33 vertebrae that's Jacob's ladder. That's the point of, that's when Jesus was 33. The whole point of your Christ rising to your crown chakra and the enlightened energy, it's all about that spinal fluid connecting the physical energy with the etheric energy, with your awakening, your enlightenment, your Christed heart opening. You were saying about the Christ, your heart, you were feeling it from your heart to your spinal cord and out the back. Well, that's the point at the center of the Merkaba opening as well. So that's heaven to earth. It's the center point of Jacob's ladder. I was feeling that energy with everybody. So exciting, so wonderful, but so peaceful at the same time. So vibrantly expansive, and yet so zenly meditative. Very powerful, very beautiful. Lovely. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Taunya. Mama T.
Mama T. Mama T in the house and rang that house like a bell. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, well, I'm a bit spaced out now. I think we'll sort of possibly wrap it up, or start getting down those lines. I mean, yeah, I can't wait to meet you in person. To be honest, you know, it's another one of those things of yeah, Boggy speechless. Doesn't happen often. Yes. Anybody got any questions or anything they'd like to say?
Yeah, I've got a quick question from our beautiful hostess, as you're calling her, Mama T. Mama T, do you want to just say a few words about, you know, what you were doing, or the way that you? I know everybody will probably have a very individual experience of that, but do you maybe want to just say something about the sound and the resonances and what it is you're actually playing, and, you know, kind of generally speaking, what that does to the mind and body?
Yeah, what she said.
The vibration, I mean, you heard it through speakers, so it's a little different. I don't know how it sounded on your end, but the vibration, the harmonics go into everything, you know, this room, out to you, out to the universe. Even if they don't hear it, they feel the vibration. And it goes into your body, and it into your memory, into your bones, and it's a balancer, it's a harmonizer. That's their gift. The metal bowls give out plasmon fields of electrons, and that's the scientific thing. That's the reason. Like sage is a balancer, a negative energy stay away thing, but it balances out and it's positive. It brings in the positive energies. So this works like with the plasmon fields. It goes into your body, and I gave an example of singing in a choir, like, or singing in a group. And if that resonance, if your body's not singing correctly, it will unite that, or it will dispose of the dis-ease. Basically, when I'm doing the rimming, it's a constant motion, so it's slowing down the brain. That's the job of the rimming. The job of the bowls, when I'm striking different ones, and with different mallets, different sounds, I have different mallets here. It resonates in a different way. So it will hit you in a way that nobody else can feel, because you have your own chemical makeup, you have your own harmonies in your body, you have your own vibration. So this vibration connects with not only your vibration, but every vibration in its unique way. I think
Wow. And I have to say, there's always a synchronicity when I'm on these calls. And yesterday, sitting in this chair, I did a Skype session with someone in America where I was the client and they were doing chakra energy work. And she was talking about, you know, doing some work with the heart and the crown. And so it's almost as though, having done that, how can we say, intellectually yesterday, you have come in beautifully and dovetailed it with what I a bit like Boggie. I'm never lost for words, and I've like, yeah, whatever. It was just gorgeous. It just feels like the perfect blending of those two things. So thank you so much. It was absolutely amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. What a wonderful winter solstice. What a beautiful,
balance.
And,
Balances.
so perfect. So perfect, so beautiful. I can feel that. Thank you so much.
No, I thank you so much. You know, everything, every offering that I give is, it resonates with me tremendously. These bowls, I give thanks to the bowls because they're the ones that do the work. And actually, I realized that the bowls are playing you. They're playing this group. They're playing whoever is composed to get this vibration. So although I may, you know, practice a couple of, you know, the bowls call me and tell me what they want to play, who they want to play for, who's going on the journey. So these bowls selected to play for you and other viewers that are coming in, and on this solstices. So solstices. I never say that word right. But they chose to play for you. It's like, who's gonna play? You know, okay, well, you know. So they harmonize in a way that you may need. You may not think you need it, but sometimes it gets to the state of removing a blockage. So in that case, you may get a headache. You may get some signs of infirmity. Drink water, it'll pass. Because sometimes, and I have stories, like I said, but somewhere down the line, you may not feel that, not this group particularly, but some people like, oh, you know, and then somewhere like even, yeah, right. It hits them like, oh, you know, I used to teach test taking skills with the bowls. And it was one student that didn't like the bowls. I said, well, you know, you can sit over there, you know, but we're going to do the bowls for focusing, practicing focusing skills. So, because by trade, I'm a teacher and director of schools and stuff like that. So I was. So later on, she became my assistant. So needless to say, now she's in college. She passed her GED. And she was in college, and that's what I used to teach, writing skills for GED. And she said, that bowl works. I said, what are you talking about? You didn't like the bowl. No, it works. It works. So it came back to her while she was taking the test, while it was hot. And she said, I remember the sound of the bowl. Her body remembered the sound of the bowl. The water in her body remembered the sound of the bowl. The consciousness came up, rised up inside of her, and she said, it was me in that test. One pointed, boom, boom, boom. Everybody was walking around me, sharpening pencils. It was hot. Needless to say, she was in college and my assistant. So anyway, they work. If you allow them, just a little bit. I just tell you, just let it in a little bit. Give yourself permission.
Definitely. If you allow them, if you allow it, yeah. And that is the same with everything. But what a beautiful energy! What a beautiful evening! What a beautiful show! I'm really really happy that you came on the show. Thank you for coming on the show and the solstice. This,
Yeah. Well, what a perfect show! What a perfect guest for this show. You know, for the winter solstice. You know, couldn't have timed it any better.
Right?
Yeah, you know,
it's the perfect time.
Yeah. I've got. It was funny. I will sort of let into a little secret. I got, while you was doing yours, I got the urge to start ringing mine, and I just on about halfway through, and the vibrations that were coming through my hand, and surging up, and it was there've been more props. I will be honest. There've been more props. I've not really overly the ones in China that were used in Tibet, of course. And you know, the energies I received there in Tibet especially. You know, never quite like that. But you know, suddenly this baby was wow. And I could feel, you know, there's the tones coming from you and this at the same time, and this was harmonizing with yours, and it was, you know, that was really cool.
That's a release of your energy as well, Boggie. That's a release of your readiness to participate. It's a readiness of the energy for you to let go of your restrictions and your blocks and your inhibitions and to join in. Right, so that's those bowls tonight with Taunya coming on have been activated in the readiness, and Marilyn's got bowls calling her, and Savoy has that curiosity ready for him opening up that as well. It's like this has all happened in perfect timing. So there's going to be sound baths all around.
well, you know, because traditionally in Tibet, one of the things they do with the sound bowls is they actually do. I can't remember the Chinese Shun Qi Shen, flowing energy spirit. So they'll do an empowerment, a Reiki empowerment or attunement with the sound. So you'll have people like chanting, you'll have the bowls, and you'll have somebody blasting energy in there as well. And that's what sort of. That was the natural thing. You know, I was like just in the background. You couldn't quite see my hands, but I was, you know, just getting the urge again to fire some energy in. And that's, you know, that will be a workshop at some point where, you know, having the singing bowls and, you know, doing the Shin Shens or the Shin Chi Shens in
that's
that.
What this feels like tonight. That's what this feels like tonight. It feels like that because when I was sitting in that energy of the toroidal field and the global toroidal field, and it felt like there was a release of anything, of any blockages that were there. So this Way of Conscious Mindfulness show tonight, in its tone and it's like an initiation show. It's like the energy of the Reiki 1, 2, and 3 combined, and the point Reiki just means Holy Spirit, right? So it's really just about us connecting with that deeper part of ourselves and releasing the blocks to our own innate divinity. So that's what's happened tonight. That's what this show tonight has facilitated. So thank you so much, Mama T. Fantastic, amazing, wonderful, beautiful.
Yeah.
So anybody that watches this will feel that effect if they watch the whole show and they absorb the energy with humility. They will be opened up. So exciting stuff.
Definitely, I really think I've got to say I think this is not only is this coming to the ocean with me now, because from next year I'll be going down there every week, because it's about 70 miles away from me at the moment. I live in near the airport, but I've now almost want to, because I'm setting up a new class next year of Qigong Reiki, mixing the two. Well, actually in China and Japan that's actually traditional. You do, you know, you'll find both in each other, but I'm getting the calling to bring this baby. That's been added to the class as well now. So thank you, Mama T. You know, thank you, Seafood.
Thank you.
So Right, I think we'll wrap up. So, guys, have you got any? Firstly, Savoy, have you got any last words? Not literally.
Why do you have to add that part in there?
It's how my brain works. It's how my mind works.
Not literally. No, I don't. But I do want to thank you because that was amazing. Every time I find something to clear blockages, it's just another bonus on top of bonus on top of bonus. And tonight did feel like an initiation, kind of like every show after this is about to be fucking amazing 10 times fold. I don't know why, I don't know, but that it's there. It is there and I feel it. So I'm with you on that, Robbie. And that's it. I'm so glad we got to do that. I'm so glad to be here on that winter solstice.
Indeed, this is the initiation. So very, very much so. But it is cool. Actually, no. First, Marilyn, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, well, you know, I've got my little baby bowl here, which I have to admit, I use it to hold my sage in rather than playing the bowl. So, yeah, but you were talking about the balancing and sage, so I was laughing to myself going that I use it for a sage holder, but I may just, you know, get it out. But I have to, I mean, I've been prescribing dance breaks to my clients since year 2001. So music resonates with me, and I know there is something about music, but tonight was a whole different level in terms of, you know, the sound and the tones and the resonance. And I know you're saying we're listening to it through speakers. It doesn't matter. I felt it. It resonated through my being. So speakers or there, I'm sure, of course, it's 100 times more resonant in person. However, I still feel that I got massive benefit from being here. So I just want to say thank you so much, Mama T. That was just amazing, and just what a wonderful way to kind of, you know, welcome in the solstice. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, you're thanking me, but I'm going to ask you to play your bowl. They want to be played. They're waiting for you to be activated. These bowls are like made for a purpose. I know you're holding the sage in it. Okay, that's nice. But you know, they want to be activated. And the more they're activated, the more powerful. And the more they're activated, the more powerful. And the more they play together, like we played together, the more they love to play together. They love to resonate with each other. And it just, you know, it gives them more power. And they're not to release that power. That's their energy. That's their purpose. That's their Tao.
I mean, you know, they're still calling now. I can still feel them desperately, you know, like me wanting to play it again. And like I said, I mean, I've played them before, but the vibrations, that was reminding me of Tibet, you know, is that, because I could have, you were obviously in my ears, and then I was ringing, and I could feel the vibe. I could feel it, or like resonating with, you know, with the tones. I can feel it, you know, vibrating. And like I said, I've played it before, but it's never played like that before. It's never played, and it's like, you know, like Mama T's bowls were calling mine, and that was it. And it was like, you know, blimey, it's turned into Pavarotti, this bowl. You know, it's the boom that was coming. I mean, I didn't want to, you know, override yours, but I mean, it was power. It was cool. It really was cool. And like I say, I'm almost slightly addicted to it now. It's like, you know, now it's like that's coming, you know, that's coming to Qigong, or the Qigong meditation class, and at some point I'll gently bring that into the class, or maybe not so gently. I'm more like a sledgehammer than I am a feather. But I mean, it's 10 o'clock at night, and I'm almost like, I want to do it again. I want to play again. So it was. Thank you.
Oh, now that we know.
Well, we're not normally. normally it's my patients or students saying, oh, you know, your energy is addictive, and oh, you know, like learn that qigong, I really want to do that. And it's nice to be the student again. It's nice to go, oh yes, you know, new toy, I've got something to well, new toys. I've actually got there's this thing called a Bosu, which is like a blow up a balance board. So it's like think of a balance board, but half of it's a yoga ball. And I've got one sitting. I've just bought one, and I'm about to do qigongs on it. And now I'm going, oh, boom, ball and yoga ball. Oh, that sounds so cool. It sounds so cool. Because I'm actually, I mean, for those, well, the people who watch the show, you normally see me moving about because I always sit on a yoga ball, and that's what I think again, because obviously the air, you know, I'm sitting on air, and the fact that, you know, with the bowl as well resonating with yours, the vibrations are so powerful. So, you know, maybe that's a new class, you know, yoga ball bowl qigong. You know, the things I come up with. But anyway, and Robbie, any comments before we depart?
Well, I'd just like to say thank you so much for coming on. I knew that there was a big energy that was happening today. I was earlier on today, I was praying and doing yoga and meditation and opening my Merkaba in the afternoon, because I knew that there was a deep energy that was happening today. So sending lots of power to that as well, you know, for this opening today. So this is not just a normal way of conscious mindfulness. You know, it's a really potent energy, and because of where we are and what juncture we've come to as far as the awakening of mankind is concerned, you know, is like the torch holders, the ones that are you know, have been moving forward and have been opening up. The timing of everything is perfect for moving forward, and this note, this point, these balls, this resonance of what's happening just now intercontinentally tonight with us and the rest of the world as well, everybody that sees this will be cleared of the blockages that they need to be cleared of in order to open themselves up more fully. So this is more, it's a more profound, every show is wonderful, of course. I love the show, Boggie, you know, and it's always wonderful to come on, but there is a potent, powerful energy to tonight that is very special. So I thank you so much for coming on, and I appreciate your work. I appreciate you. I love you. I love you all. But this is certainly, it's a very, very potent, heart-opening night tonight. You know, it's about our potential. It's about our humanity. It's about our divinity. It's about the two becoming one, you know. And tonight was very special. So I appreciate you. I thank you. And what a wonderful show. So yeah.
I've got to. I agree 1,000%. Well, we had Shinturi last week, and that was a real aha. You know, there were certain things that were said on Shinturi's show, and that was a real big eye opener for me, and a real big I like this, and this one, like I say, I mean. Mine, though my bowls weren't used for sage, but you know, but they've been more props. They have been more, you know, to represent something else. A little bit. I've got to do it. A little bit like the Warhammer. But yeah, you know, you've opened my eyes. And you know, wow. You know, if I had a transporter, Mama T, I'd be in your living room right now. If I could get there, I'd be there, baby. Yeah, so doesn't happen often. So I'd just like to say thank you so much, Mama T. Is there anything else you'd like to say before I wrap it up?
No, the Bowls, thank you for the opportunity to play for you. This is Christmas for me and birthday, so I thank you so much.
The pleasure's all ours. The pleasure's all ours. So I would like to say, from the guys, this has been an awesome show. I said this about last week's show. I'm actually trying to. I think actually the the sound bowl meditation to split up into its own little segment and do it as its own little meditation. I think that's only right. So I will have to set that. After tomorrow, I've got one day at work, and then I'm off for 7 days, almost 7 days. So I apparently have got some editing to do. So I'd like to thank the co-hosts. I'd like to thank Savoy, thank Robbie, thank Marilyn. Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming to this awesome show.
Thank you.
And I would,
as always, an absolute pleasure.
I always say it's our show. I have certain people always argue with me about that fact, but it's our show. That's the whole point of the Dao. It's our show. But, and Mama T, I can't wait to connect with you again. I can't wait to meet you in person. I've absolutely loved this. Thank you so much for your offerings tonight. Thank you. Okay, so what I'll do, we'll wrap it up. But Mama T, don't disappear just yet. We'll close down the show and then we'll have a quick talk. Savoy.
What?
Oh, I thought you were going to say something. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say the exact same thing you just said. So.
So the audience. Okay, so next week is this was actually, not many people know this technically next year the shows will be in a slightly different format. They will still exist. I have been persuaded by this lot, especially Robbie and Marilyn, to keep the shows going, so they will be about, but as I sort of heard me speaking, I'm actually going to do on a Thursday, I'm going to start a Qigong and Qigong Reiki class next year on a Thursday. So the show still will exist, but it will be on different days. Not maybe almost every week, maybe every 3 out of 4 weeks, but it will still exist, but it will be in a slightly different format. So next week is technically the ultimate show of this run, of season 2 of year 2. So next week is I've forgotten her name, unless Robbie can remember. It's his guest, Louise
Kewen.
Is it Kewen? Louise Kewen is on next week, so I will look forward to that show. Actually, the last 3 shows have been Robbie's been the guest gatherer for the last 3 shows. So thank you, Robbie. So yes, so next week is Louise, and that will be a very interesting show indeed. But from now, for this winter solstice, the best winter solstice I've had in a long, ever, I think, of this time.
Fantastic.
I'd like to say thank you very much. Goodbye from us all. Take care. Bye from now. Love, Chi, and Shen from the Way of Conscious Mindfulness.